Ever know exactly what you want to say, but the words just won't come? Welcome to Situation Scripts, where I give you the perfect language for life's challenging conversations. Today's script covers communicating boundaries early in dating, breaking down the situation, why it's difficult, and the precise wording that works. No more freezing up, regretting what you said. Instead, practical phrases that sound natural coming from you. Let's get into it. The situation today is that you've started dating someone new and things are going well. As the relationship progresses, you recognize the need to establish healthy boundaries around physical intimacy, communication frequency, emotional pacing, or personal space. You want to express these boundaries without seeming closed off, uptight, or uninterested. So here's the problem in it. Relationship therapist Dr. Stan Tatkin explains that early dating creates a biological and psychological dilemma. Our attachment systems drive us towards connection, while our autonomy needs require individuation and boundary setting. This creates what he calls mutual regulatory difficulty, the challenge of managing both people's needs simultaneously. Many people either avoid setting boundaries altogether, risking resentment and burnout, or set them too rigidly, preventing authentic connection. Additionally, gender expectations often create additional pressure on men to appear easygoing and accommodating. So, what's the framework we can use here to address this problem in the situation? Today, we'll be talking about Dr. John Gottman's the quote, I appreciate when quote method. In this method, you're going to start with appreciation. I'm really enjoying getting to know you, and I value how things are developing between us. You want to build a baseline acknowledgement of what is already going well, what is already good. That is the foundation. Then you're going to express your boundary positively. I appreciate when we can insert desired behavior because it helps me feel insert positive emotion. In this step, you are speaking from the personal perspective, I appreciate, and you are sharing what desire you want within that behavior and the positive benefits that happen when that behavior is expressed. Then you're going to provide context if it's helpful. Sometimes that's enough to just express what behavior you want to happen and why you want it to happen because of the outcomes. But providing extra context can help further justify and clarify where you're coming from. So you may say something like, in past relationships, I've learned that I insert personal insight about your needs. Again, you're maintaining the focus on yourself, what you know is best for you, and what may be helpful for you. Then you want to invite their perspective because the conversation's not just about you. You want to say, I'm curious about what works well for you in terms of insert relevant area. What you're doing here is you're showing reciprocal interest and respect on wanting to know where they're at with the situation. They may have an opinion, they may not, but the important thing is you're respecting and honoring the relationship by equally asking them this question. They also might not be thinking about it, so it's a good opportunity for them to have a reflection time to say, where do I stand with this, and what may be a good way to approach this. Of course, you're already thinking about it because the area is of interest to you. But by asking that person, it's not just you sharing what you want and what you need and what's best for you. You are shifting the focus to them by helping the conversation feel more balanced and considerate instead of more demanding. And then the last step here is you want to reinforce the connection. So you have gone into intentional conflict in a way because you are requesting a change that is currently not implemented and you're taking a risk. So you want to make sure to end by reinforcing the connection, saying something like, having these conversations early helps me feel more comfortable and present with you. I think it helps our relationship, something like that. So let's go through this framework with a example situation. Let's say that you are more introverted and you like your alone time. You started dating someone that is more social than you and they like to pack their schedule out. They like to make plans and they like to do a lot of things. Let's say you're starting to date, and of course you're spending time together, right? So you're not just going over to each other's houses. This other person is asking you to go out with them and their friends. They want to go out with you a lot and do a lot of things, and it's starting to wear on you. You're starting to feel the effects of go, 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 always being out, and you're not having that time to recharge. On top of that, this person's friends are also pretty extroverted, so they're also talking a lot and trying to spend a lot of time socially, and you are feeling the negative effects of not having time to yourself and specifically not having time to rest. So what you're going to say here is you're going to start with the appreciation. I'm really enjoying getting to know you, and I value how things are developing between us. It's been a positive challenge for me to get out of my shell a little bit and to do more social activities, and I've loved the plans that we've had thus far. Setting the baseline. Next, you're going to express that boundary positively. I appreciate when we can have weekends where we have more downtime, and also when I have more time to myself. I appreciate reading and going on a run or watching a movie because it helps me feel rested. It helps me feel in control. It helps me feel like I can take a break from things in a way that helps me show up better when I am involved. So there you go. You are asking for that desired behavior to change from a always social, always on the go schedule to a more balanced, restful approach that gives you more personal time. And you're explaining the benefits of that, in short, by saying the quality of your time with that person and their friends will go up if you can decrease the total amount of time you're spending socially with them and their friends. You can provide extra context here if helpful, and you can say, I know myself, I'm like this in my friendships and even my past relationships. I've learned that when I don't get the alone time that I need, when I am constantly out socially doing things, I become short-tempered, I become a little rude, I become a little snippy, and overall, I become a little aggravated because I'm not feeling restful. So ultimately, there's this unsettledness. And I've learned that when I do get that amount of time, and by the way, if you can be specific here with what you need, so let's say you know yourself to need 2 hours of alone time every weekend. You can say, if I get a couple hours of alone time where I can just chill, relax, be to myself, then I'm a lot more willing to participate in social events, and I show up in a more present, grounded manner because I've had that time to myself. Then you invite their perspective. I'm curious about what works well for you in terms of scheduling and how much alone time you get versus how much time we're spending together and how much time we're spending overall socially. You're respecting their perspective of it, and you want to see the value of where they're coming from. They want to feel that as well. They want to feel like you care about the way they express themselves, which is having a value for more social time. They don't want to just feel like you see it as a threat, that you don't like it, you don't want to do it, and you just need your alone time and you're being dragged along to these other things. So it gives you an opportunity to appear interested and for you to actually understand where they're coming from and their value for that. Then you want to end by reinforcing the connection. You can say, honestly, I was a little nervous about having this conversation because I enjoy spending time with you. I really like your friends. And I feel that having this conversation earlier on and by actually talking through it now instead of avoiding it, it helps me feel more comfortable and present with you. I feel like I can share it and not be judged. Also, I know that now when we make social plans, you can have a clear conscience that you're not holding me back because I'm given that alone time. Now I can be present, grounded, and patient when I'm out among friends because I have been given that alone time. It means a lot that you would be willing to consider this because I know we're different people. I know you have different needs and desires, and I think our ability to compromise here ultimately will produce a better way forward. Then, of course, you can ask what they think about the conversation. Maybe they see it different. But again, you want to verbally put some resolve or finality around this to affirm the conversation you've just been through. This week, I want you to think through what is one dynamic issue situation that I need to address in my relationship. It could be physical intimacy, communication frequency, emotional pacing, personal space, or something else. Those are just common areas. Pick one of those and think through, how would I address this? Use Dr. Gottman's framework. Practice thinking through how you're going to communicate, what you're going to communicate, all of these things. Then have the conversation with this person. If you really care about this person and you want the best chance of this turning out well and successful, then the conversation will be worth it. It will be difficult, but it is a lot easier to address something early on where there's not set expectations, behavioral patterns, and comfort levels than avoiding it and waiting to then ultimately still have to confront and face it, have this conversation, and it be a lot harder in the long run. So have this conversation this week, set the boundary that you need to, communicate your needs, respect where the other person's coming from, and see your relationship get better. That's it for me. I'll see you next time.